Hi guys. So my voice is kind of better now. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna do Henry Clay 1844. I previously did James K. Polk 1844. Um, then I also did another campaign with Henry Clay, but it was 1848. But this is 18. I think I have a method of winning. That this election's very it's always extremely close because it always hinges around New York. But I think I made a way you can win every single time. I hope so, anyway. So Henry Clay runs in a presidential election for the third time and begins with the favorite against Polk. He must quickly define a position on Texas. It will be difficult to do so without alienating some block of Whigs. Clay would prefer to keep slavery and expansion on the back burner and advance his own issues like tariffs, internal improvements, and a national currency. Can he find redemption from his political defeats to Andrew Jackson and finally break into the White House? So, with the VP here, I used to select Millard Fillmore like I did with, no, I'm pretty sure in the 1848 I did Millard Fillmore, I think. I might have did Abbott Lawrence for that, but anyway, I'm off topic. But yeah, I used to because you'd think he'd be the best one because, I mean, there's nothing, it doesn't really say anything wrong about him, but for some reason, every time I play as him, like, I lose. So Frelinghuysen's actually the best one. John Sargent is, is too abolitionist. He's an opponent to slavery, so you don't want to select him. But yeah, because you think Fillmore would help because he's from New York, and that's the state you want to win. Well, Pennsylvania is also important, but New York is the one, like the entire election centers around because it's extremely close. But yeah, you do want to pick Frelinghuysen. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Frelinghuysen or something. I don't know. Um, so when you start, you have a massive advantage over James Polk, but very quickly it goes south very quickly. It goes really bad. Um, so you want to say first. So talking to you guys. Just watch every sync because this election's so close. If you mess up one question for this, like you'll probably lose. So just watch really closely what I'm doing. So first, you want to say this would be a strictly personal invite. That's the first response you want to say. So if you see what I'm doing, you're gonna win every single time. Um, at least I've tried it 3 times and it's worked. So you want to say I will strike a middle ground on Texas. That was the main issue. 1844 was Texas annexation. Support annexation. You don't want to do that because it hurts you in the north, and you're already being hurt by the Liberty Party. Avoiding any mentions. I think the worst one. Oppose. You don't want to do because you lose the South. So you say middle ground, even though the advisor response is very bad for this, as you can see. You want to say you support annexation. You think you'd say moderation, but you actually want to say support. It just balances out the numbers. But now you can see Polk is winning by a lot. Uh, you say here, do not make statements on this issue. A lot of the time, you want to dodge questions with Clay. Um, for this one, you want to say steadfast support of the tariff. Yeah, key objectives infrastructure program. You want to do that. Now remember, watch every single response that I do, because if you mess up one response, you'll probably lose. Because it's that luck based and specific. Well, not luck based. It's that specific that you have to, like, this selection's that specific. It's like that. It's hard to explain. But you want to say necessary step. This is a necessary step. Current position on the banking system. Yeah, National Bank. Don't say opposition to Texas. Say Northern Democrats. Opposed from radicalism from any region. How are we doing now? It's all about New York. If you win New York, you're basically golden. So, best we avoid making don't talk about like nativism or Irish immigration. Don't talk about that. That's the one you want to avoid. This one, telegraph lines, you want to avoid this too. It's a lot of avoiding questions. This one, you actually want to say, I'm no way an abolitionist. Sometimes I think it actually messes you up if you say the compensation Africa one. I think it actually messes you up, so you want to say, I'm no way an abolitionist. So don't publicize this group. Yeah, I don't know how many times I can or he can deny a allegation. This one, say undertaken amusement of our times. This one is don't say against annexation. Say manifest destiny. Don't address the gag rule. The gag rule, I think, was like it was like I think in like both the House and the Senate, and they weren't allowed to talk about slavery. That was what the gag rule was, I think. Don't talk about Calhoun. Don't talk about him. Uh, yeah, 54-40 your fight. You actually want to be aggressive with Oregon. So now look how when you do that, you get a big boost. You say enforce. You do the opposite of what Polk says. Say veto the measure. This is not an issue. Joseph Smith is a Mormon founder. If you don't know, I used to when I very first started this. I used to select like it's always concerning. But then I found out for some reason, well, because people didn't hated Mormons, so. Uh, Say I support National Bank. Say I would say the compromise one. I would prefer a national bank, but I would be willing to sign independent treasury. And this is extremely important. You want to say New York every time, even if it looks like you're winning by a lot, you still want to go to New York. And let's hope that because I'm pretty sure this strategy guarantees you a win. I'm pretty sure it does. So South Carolina, that's no surprise. I don't think there was popular voting in South Carolina. But until like 1850s, I think. In Ohio, that's very good. North Carolina's very good. Kentucky. Pennsylvania, that's bad. See how close this is? It gets really close. I hope I don't lose. Please don't lose. This is how close it was in real life, though. It was extremely close election. The Liberty Party, which was like an abolitionist third party, swung it for Polk. That's why I visited New York, because everything hinges on. In real life, it hinged on New York too, because basically the Bernie, which was the Liberty Party candidate, James Bernie, they stole votes away from Henry Clay, and the Whigs. Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, see, guaranteed. So every time I've done it, I've lost the popular vote. But using my strategy in this video, you have to pay very close attention to what I'm saying and doing. You'll win every single time. Usually, like if usually like I used to play this all the time. I could never beat Henry Clay, but I found out this, and every time I won, every single time. So it's very, from what I've seen, what the strategy I've adapted and made. Oh my god, look how close that is. How close is that? I didn't even notice that. That's like 100. That's 1,000 votes. 1,000 votes. Polk would have won the election, I think. Not for 1,000. Or no, it's less than 1,000. It's like 100. It's like 100 votes or something like crazy like that. I think. I mean, I'm terrible at math. I don't know anything about math. Yeah, it's like 100 or something like wow. I won by 100 votes. It's crazy. But yeah, pretty much every time, unless you have extremely bad luck, you'll win. You'll win every time in my strategy. But how do we lose Well, yeah, Pennsylvania. I think I always lose Pennsylvania with this strategy. But yeah, you always want to visit New York at the end. That's the most important thing. No matter how good of a margin you think you're winning New York, you always want to go there last. But yeah, you say so. Your first order of business will be block the annexation of Texas. Now, I don't agree with that. I don't think Henry Clay was like like explicitly anti-annexation. People say he was. I don't. He wanted he he wasn't too fussy on it, but I mean, he would have accepted it um if a free state was paired with the slave state. I think he would have accepted it. And it is possible the Mexican American War would have still happened under him anyway. It's still possible. A lot of people think James Polk was the instigator of that war, but I think if Clay actually did win, um, instead of the Texas causing the Mexican War, it could have been California causing it instead of Texas, and I think over money like that, like the gold rush, I think Clay would have actually intervened. Clay might have even accepted Texas anyway, eventually, because Texas was well, obviously it was an independent country. It was an independent country, but I think the British were trying to make like some sort of protectorate in Texas like the British Empire was, or the Americans were fearful of like the Texans allying with the British or something. So that was another thing because Henry Clay didn't like the British either. Um, so I think people I think the Mexican American War would possibly still happen if Henry Clay was president. So I disagree with the conclusion here, but anyway, hopefully in further discussion of this issue, then you can concentrate on undoing the damage that Andrew Jackson and his followers have inflicted on the American system. Unfortunately, that it appears you'll have to deal with a Democratic majority in Congress. Best wishes for these next 4 years. So yeah, there's no way to change the Democratic majority, I don't think. Even if you're on like cakewalk difficulty. Um, but anyway, the next one I'm gonna do is Stephen Douglas, 1860. Um, that one's gonna be the first one that you actually can't win. You can't win as Stephen Douglas on normal. I don't think you can win on you can win on any difficulty actually. You can't win. But you can deadlock. You can deadlock deadlocking the electoral college as Stephen Douglas is basically winning. So I'll show you that. That might be a longer video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys later.